Hey everyone, welcome to this week's video. So this week what we're going to do is we're going to go over the second line of Hall of the Mountain King. So once again, I'm going to break this down, just kind of go over how the easiest way to learn it. It's very similar to line one in a lot of ways, but the fingering is a little trickier. And then there will be some links below here, down in the description, to playthrough videos again. And the other thing is we're going to go over just briefly notes on each string. So, what we're going to do with this one is I want you to learn all these notes. It looks like a lot, but it's really just learning the relationships between the notes. So the best way to do that is each day take one. So Monday, learn the E string. Tuesday, go over the A. Wednesday, the D, and so on. And then there will be a sheet attached to this one here. And you may already have this one in your binder. I'm going to send it out again anyways. And it'll just be some questions to kind of learn the relationships between all these notes, how many frets they are apart, that kind of thing. Make sure you can find them all. And this will really help because then we can start talking a little more theory and scales and stuff like that in the next couple of weeks, okay? So, Hall of the Mountain King. We're going to look at part B, so line 2 here. And I'm just going to aim down so you can see my hands here. Once again, there's 4 bars. Bar 1 and bar 3 of this line, so bars 5 and 7 overall, are the same. Okay? And again, bars 6 and 8, so bar 2 and 4 on that line, are almost exactly the same, except we're ending on one different note. We're holding one note. Okay? So the easiest way to do this is, again, to break it down bar by bar. So if we remember back to what we learned last week, part A of Hall of the Mountain King, the first bar sounded like this. Okay, that first note here is a B. So what we're doing is we're taking this whole phrase and we're moving it up to F sharp. So now our first note is going to be the 4th fret on our D string. You'll notice I'm using my pinky here. Okay, you can use your 3rd finger as well. I'm going to tell you right now, if you try to play this using one finger, you're going to have a heck of a lot of problems and you're going to probably struggle with it. Okay, because the notes go. Okay, that wasn't how you play it. That was me just demonstrating. There's a whole lot of movement with the left hand. So what you want to do is start using your 3rd finger or your pinky ideally on that 4th fret of your D string. Okay? And just like before, we're going to learn that first bar on its own, which would sound like this. Okay, and just repeat that until you're used to it. And those notes go across 3 strings. They go from your D to your G up to your B string here. Okay? These 3 right here. Now, bar 2. Once we're used to bar 1, we're going to play bar 2, which is, again, it's a repeating pattern, much like bar 2 was in the first line. Okay, and then we'll put them together just like we did last week. And again, play it a few times over until you're used to playing the whole thing. And then we're going to go on to bar 3 and bar 4. Now I'm not going to play bar 3 and bar 4 here on our own. We'll leave that for the playthrough video because bar 3 is the same as the first bar was, and the second bar plays the same as bar 2, except we're just ending on a different note. Okay? So, moving on here to the next part. There are notes on each string. So as I said, we're going to try to learn one of these a day, okay? So each of these is the notes on your string, the natural notes, so ones that aren't sharps or flats, between your open and and your 12th fret. Okay? The reason why it's always the 12th fret is your 12th fret is your octave, which means it'll be the same note as your open string is tuned to, but twice as high. Okay? You'll find then that same note in different spots on the fretboard on different strings. So, for example, I'll show you the low E. So your low E string and your high E will be exactly the same. So you don't need to learn two different sets of notes. Just remember, whatever you do on your low E, it will be the same on the high E. So our low E is an open E. Go 1 fret up to F. 2 frets gets us to G. 2 more gets us to A. 2 more gets us up to B. Go 1 fret to get to C. 2 more to D. 2 more gets us to our 12th fret, which is also an E. Now, what we're going to want to learn for going through all these is, for example, where all the E's are. So this note here, I can find on the 12th fret of my low E string, or the 7th fret of my A string, 5th of my D. There's also an E on the 9th fret of my G string, and the 5th of the B, which is the same as your open high E. So it's those relationships that we want to learn about through learning all these, okay? So learn to play these notes on each string, and then answer the questions that I'll give on a separate sheet. And they're not hard, they're just things like how many frets between a C and a D, how many frets between a E and an F, where are all the E string, E notes on your there. And then there's going to be a couple bonus ones to see if you can take what we learned between these frets here and apply that knowledge. Maybe we'll see what we can do about the 15th fret or something like that, okay? So that's pretty much what we're going to do this week. As I said, there will be some links to videos below again, just playing through all of the Mountain King with the metronome, the same as I did last week. And next week we'll work on playing the whole song through, and I'll start throwing in some little harmonies and extra stuff for people who are already beyond that, okay? Good luck.